Welcome to the show, everybody. Jesse is back in the building. Welcome to the show, Jesse. Welcome back, buddy. We actually had people get sick. JJ got sick. JJ was supposed to come in tonight, and he couldn't. And a few other people got sick. Diane's kid got sick. There's a lot of people getting sick right now. So I think we got a really good deal where people are just staying the shit away. They're reporting when they're sick and all that good stuff.
Get well soon.
Yeah, man. So that's a good vibe. I hope everybody feels better soon. And we have a video we're gonna look at really quick. I thought since we have Jesse here, it's an Amazon video, and it's pretty interesting. Chris Smalls, he's a union organizer for Amazon. It's a recent video that just came out a few days ago. I'm a little late to the party, but nevertheless, I want to check it out. Let's check it out.
And I've asked you to leave the property.
But I'm a visitor.
You're no longer a visitor, so I'm asking you to leave the property.
How are you determining when I'm a visitor or not? If I wasn't wearing no AOU shirt, if I didn't have no cameras here and plain clothes, would you know that I'm a visitor or not?
Chris, I've asked you multiple times on multiple days to please leave the property.
Don't say that, because you haven't seen me in multiple days in a row. Don't lie. You came here once last week.
So what's your business here?
I'm a visitor.
With who? What are you doing here?
I'm visiting with him. They work here.
How long have you been here for, sir?
A few minutes, 20 minutes maybe.
I don't know exactly how long.
20 minutes. I'm a visitor. What you want me to do?
All right, listen. We're gonna ask you to, on behalf of Amazon, right now.
You're protecting Amazon now? You work
I'm not protecting anyone. You're trespassing. So
how am I trespassing? That sign says visitor, right?
You're on private property right now. This is private property. You don't work here.
I'm with him. I'm a visitor.
It's very simple. You don't work here.
Okay.
You don't work here. You're trespassing on private property. So
I'm visiting. I'm leaving when he leaves.
So you're refusing to leave?
No, I said I'm gonna leave when he leaves.
Are you refusing to leave?
I said no, I'm gonna leave when he leaves.
Okay, when are you leaving?
Well, I'm allowed to be on property as long as I want.
Right. I'm gonna leave when he leaves.
All right, so we're gonna ask you one more time. If you don't,
Yes.
So,
we're gonna ask you.
he's also my client.
We're gonna ask you one more time that if you don't leave, then we're gonna place you under arrest.
How you gonna place me under arrest?
Trespass.
But I'm a visitor.
It's very simple. It's either you leave Amazon's property or you're placed under arrest.
Okay, we can leave. We can leave?
Yeah.
All right, let's leave.
But why does he have to leave?
He's trespassing.
Do you arrest all your visitors?
You arrest all your visitors now?
The reason is because
So y'all not discriminating, right?
Yeah,
I just want to make that clear.
We're here protecting the law. That's
Oh,
it.
y'all protecting the law.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
So that sign don't say visitor, right?
Visitor for what? You're on here to press charges, correct?
Press charges on what? There's no
If somebody
charges.
was trespassing.
Who's trespassing though?
Okay, are you gonna leave? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.
I believe what I want. I believe what he
Are you
leaves.
going to ask them if they're employees or visitors?
Yeah, you want to ask everybody
Yeah,
over here? Are they
are
employees
you-
and
How do you
visitors?
decide who
Right.
to come up and talk to? How do you know
Right.
who's an employee and who's not?
You've had a press history, correct?
No, he ain't got no past. He ain't got no history. The only history he got is he's the one who fired me 2 years ago.
You told me to call the cops and you weren't leaving. I asked you nicely to leave.
Right, I tried to do what you got to do.
So that's why we're here. He called us.
So did you go up to every visitor and tell them you're gonna call the cops?
We come to every job that we go to. So this is a 911 call. We're here now right now.
Y'all, you wasting y'all time and y'all money because
It is what
that
it is.
sign says visitor.
Sir, I'm not here to debate. We're here to enforce the law. He wants.
But
he
that's
wants
not
So
a
you're
law.
gonna make sure you enforce
He wants to-
every
He wants to press
visitor?
charges. Okay.
Forget about that. Like I said, if I was dropping somebody off the work, what would I be considered, a visitor or a trespasser?
Yeah, he drops me off each time.
I drop him off
Literally
every
drops
day. I
me
drop him off
as
every
a visitor.
if my mom came and waited here for an
As
hour,
of right now,
she
we're
would
not
be
talking to you because we told you to leave. If you fail to relieve it the next minute, you'll be arrested.
You already got
You got
know.
so many.
Yes, Rosado.
I'm talking to him.
So you have 60 minutes. You have 60 seconds actually.
If I was dropping them off to work, what would I be considered? A visitor or a trespasser?
Can you answer that
No
question?
question, no answer, right? Y'all not enforcing
No
law.
answer.
Yeah, no.
No, they're just being
This is
biased,
exactly
but
what
they
you
shouldn't
do.
be answering
And this
the
is
question. If
discrimination.
my mom came
Yes,
and
Zach.
waited an hour for
All
me,
you know,
that
all
wouldn't
you
be
know,
trespassing. She would just be
Protecting
waiting an hour
property.
for
That's
me.
all you do.
That's what
You don't
that's what
protect
law
the
enforcement
people.
does. That's what law
Okay, so then protect all the property here. Make sure that
Make sure
every
y'all
single
ask
visitor,
everybody-
every single visitor
Everybody
needs
over
to
here,
leave
ask
then.
everybody.
It's all right.
Close to me, please. I don't know.
You're the one who came up to here. Don't do that. Don't do that.
He's not.
You came up in my face. Don't do that.
You guys don't even have masks on. Like,
Right,
come
y'all
on.
come-
If you were
y'all
so
just-
worried
y'all
about
came
somebody
over
being
here
so
to cuss
close to
me.
you.
Look, I'm gonna leave because I told you I'm gonna leave.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's all you need to know. Y'all got to babysit us.
No, we're gonna wait until you leave.
I can't leave until he leaves. He's the driver.
Well, like I said,
He's the driver.
if you don't leave,
He's
you
the
gotta place
driver.
it on
30
the record.
seconds.
You have 30 seconds, or you're getting arrested. 30 seconds.
You gotta make
If
sure
you
that
do
every
that-
visitor,
if you do that-
every visitor that's on this property, you're gonna make sure
You
that
want to
they
arrest me for
leave.
what?
You're gonna make
What
sure
is the
that they
charge?
leave.
I'm not trespassing, but I'm a
Trespass.
visitor.
Trespass.
I'm a visitor.
10 seconds.
So you're
Cipriano,
gonna do the same to
if
every
you do
visitor.
that,
Every
if you
visitor.
if you attack him, that'll be
Put hands on him. He's putting hands on him.
no.
He's a worker. He works here. He works here.
Hold on. Stop.
Put your hands off of him.
He's a worker.
No, you're not doing this.
What am I under arrest for? I'm a trespass. All they do is just like, no, are you resisting it? That's resisting arrest.
Y'all are fucked.
Let me go. I'm not gonna resist.
So that's how it goes. That's how it goes. The police, man, you see how many police responded to that? It's a little bit absurd.
Not to mention, if it was an actual threat, they would have immediately jumped on the shit, right?
Right.
Not just leave. Can we leave? They don't have any rights, so
Right.
it's intimidation.
It's amazing what they consider a threat when it's them that's being violated, or so they say. But what I find interesting is this is what we say when the corporate side of things, that's who the police state represents, is the corporate side of things. That's who they work for. That's why they're militarizing the ever-living hell out of them right now, getting ready, because they know that we're not the only one that's speaking out on this shit. It's a hot topic right now. There's a lot of people out there that are pissed off about their standard of living and stuff, and all this guy's doing is trying. That's something to take away from this, right? Okay. Did you see the response to that shit? That tells you unions work.
Yes, sir.
Big time. That's what I take away from that shit. Unions work, and that's how much they work. They don't want any of that shit going on. They're just like, hey, this can't happen. Sorry, you got to go.
And they've been trying to intimidate people in the negotiations too. Like, it could get worse if you unionize. So it's like, what the fuck? So you mean it could get worse than this? Or you're trying to intimidate us to not join the union. So there's been an issue with those guys regarding, like, if we unionize, everybody that is working with you has to now go by the rules of the union.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to tell people that the union is going to be bad. It's everything that does with unionizing is going to come at a risk to them. They might not like it. So they're trying to already cause a divide before the union can be made.
Right. I agree, man. I agree. And that's what they do. I've even heard so much, I think it was Starbucks, but they know which stores are unionizing, right? They're like going around, they're telling everybody what they're doing around the store, and they're talking to the staff. So as soon as they catch wind of that shit, they pretend like it's a staff meeting for the managers. And it just so happens all the Starbucks managers are going to meet up at this particular store, and they're going to, but what they do is they lean on them. And they're just like, oh, you don't want to do that. We take care of you. We do this. We do that. We got your best interest in mind. We're going to take care of you, whatever your name is. And, you don't have to do any of this. And if that shit doesn't work, then they lean harder and they start pressing you and saying, hey, we got to get this motherfucker out of here. And they'll take out people and replace them with other people. And then it just resets your whole mission. And you're like, shit, man. And that's really what's happening around the world. And that's why we stand with everybody that's striking and trying to unionize and general strikes is, I think the ultimate goal, man, is a general strike. You get enough people together, and that's when you take them back by the balls and you just say, oh, no. We have a list of demands, and you have to meet them.
They scare you with, they're scared of equal profit sharing, straight up.
Yeah.
And people don't get that. Like, yo, look, it gets hard. Owning a business is hard. Being
right.
part of a business is going to be hard.
Right.
But at the end, you are going to profit.
Right.
So you really do need to get behind the union.
But how much profit does it take? Like you got, all right, I see people struggling, right? That's all we see because we live it. We I know you and you work for Amazon. So we know people that are struggling day in, day out and all this stuff. And it's so much struggle, right? All right. Well, what's justified on that end? All right. Well, let's look on the other end of it. All right. How much is too much money? Where is that justified at? Because that is something that I think that most people, definitely over 50% of Americans, would look at and go, well, yeah, that's the side we need to pay attention to. Shit, we know this guy needs more money. The average worker needs more money. But look at all the fucking extra money that these guys are getting. Should they get that kind of money just for being in the position they are? Just for, I just think it's ridiculous. And then when you consider that most of them are in stocks and bonds and shit like that, you're just like, it's just hoarding money on a unbelievable scale at the very top. And it's silly when you even think about it. Like, why would you do that? You're starving a population, and that's where it goes to the very top, and
they never lose it because, to be honest, their losses are write-offs.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and they don't pay taxes like we do. We pay averaging like 15% tax. These people are paying 1% fucking tax.
That's a tax return to them.
Yeah. So they're not
tax breaks
on top of the tax breaks. Yeah, they're just cutting corners everywhere, man. And that's where I'm screaming, class war. It's fucking class war. None of this social shit really has any weight when you look at the economic side of things, and you're just freaking the fuck out. Oh man, but that's an amazing video, and I just shout out to Chris Smalls, man. That dude is putting in work, and he's been protesting everywhere and union organizing everywhere across the whole fucking U.S. And shout out to that dude, man, because
JFK, you need to unionize, straight up, everybody.
Yeah, they what I think was at the end of the video, I was like, he better get arrested. He better get arrested because that's a good time to get arrested, just to have it on record to say, hey,
the video,
yeah,
you put it out there.
I'm a visitor, dude.
The lawyers up there, they know.
Yeah,
they know what's going on.
Yeah,
so it's gonna be
on the record.
Money versus bad attention, bad publicity. So, ooh boy.
He even pulled the race card too. He was like, hey, I'm a visitor. Not sure. What's the difference between a visitor and a trespasser? Because it's a great point. If I'm just dropping somebody off, what makes me a visitor versus a trespasser? Like, please, and he stuck. Couldn't answer nothing.
And
he knew all about the private property. Yeah. This is private property. You're trespassing. I could have the right to kick you out. He knew all about that shit. But when he asked him a little simple question, it's like, hey, where's the transition versus a visitor where I transitioned to a trespasser? I don't think I did anything. In fact, I'm sitting in an area where I could do this. Man, this is what we're up against. So, but yeah, you want to support that anywhere it goes. We got some other shit to talk about today. I just wanted to set the record straight because a lot of people weren't too happy. Could you pass that lighter, please? A lot of people weren't too happy with my recent analysis on some of this stuff. But first off, I just want to say a true heartfelt goes out to all the people, all the Ukrainians, all the Russian-speaking Ukrainians, all the Russians, any innocent civilians of any types, everybody in harm's way. It's fucking terrible, and our hearts go out to you because that's really what's most important. And I just want to remind everybody, I am anti-war. That I did say that. I don't want any fucking body. I'm not taking sides, but it's amazing how you say something about Ukraine or about any kind of context, and then all of a sudden your endorsement for Putin or Russia or some shit. And it's just, what I think about, Jesse, is how when you do that, right? When you say this and you see this, right? And then there's just this missing, there's this lack of context, right? People just want to say shit and back them and be super patriotic, but then there's this lack of context. And when it comes to this lack of context, then you're forced to observe the blind obedience. And then when you do that, it makes me think of that mass formation psychosis thing. And it makes me go, it's how much do people are just not aware based off what the media is not reporting or whatever versus how many people are aware and just go with it because of, whatever reason. It's hard to distinguish where that is and what people know versus what they don't know. But I know we're being lied to. Yeah. I mean, the reports coming out on this shit are amazing, dude. It's very simple. It's Putin's evil. He's trying to redo the Soviet Union. He's trying to get it all going, and we gotta stop this motherfucker. That's basically it. That's the context on one side. And then on the other, and believe me, there's a lot of context, and we're going to get into this. So please don't run away. But people talk a lot of fucking shit, man. People talk a lot of shit for never having a fucking bomb dropped in their fucking community. And people talk a lot of shit for never having a war fought on their fucking soil. And people talk a lot of shit, especially because I'm just saying these Russians fucking World War II, one war alone lost over like 25 million fucking people, man. We cried, which we totally justified. We pooped our pants and was pee-pee poo-poo over 9/11. That was 3,000 fucking people. Imagine 25 fucking million people of your own people dying in a fucking...
And they did it on our side.
And they did it on our side, right. So, and they fought 80% of that war. They won 80% of that fucking war. And that was just one war. And again, it's not an endorsement for Russia. I'm just saying that now they got Nazis piling up. Well, not all Nazis. Okay. I want to be not all Nazis, but there are in there. And it's fucking facts. I don't give a fuck what you say. But they now you got them stirring up shit on the fucking, on the border. And, Russia's going in. We're going to explain all of this here in a second, because there's a lot of context to that.
No matter what, I mean, I've seen it. Like
Russia is wrong for that.
I see, yeah, they are, but
for sure.
I see like people immediately like waving the Ukrainian flag and shit, and it's like, do you understand? It is the government of Ukraine that flag is standing for right now. That's fucking everything up for Russia. In their sense, that doesn't mean shit to the people. Like the working man who's gonna be forced out of his home, who's gonna have bombs dropped in their schools. They have no fucking say-so in any of this shit, really. It's the governments, it's the corporations, it's the bankers. And people are already, like, picking sides, like tribalism. Like you always say, man, it's tribalism. Like, take the damn flag down, put a fucking earth flag up and shit, man. You don't understand what the fuck is going on, man. People are dying everywhere for money. Yeah. This is ridiculous, and they'll sell you whatever the fuck you'll buy. And right now you're buying a World War III. You're going to buy Russia's evil. It's bullshit. Like,
I got a list of Putin's demands right here. It's Russia listed demands. And I think it's a pretty fucking fair list to prevent World War III from happening, all right? A complete halt of NATO expansion. We all knew that if anybody knew about NATO.
You mean own your word?
Huh?
Own your word?
Yeah. Well, we break every fucking promise. We're going to get into that. But, all right. Yeah. And then limits on the deployment of intermediate and short range missiles, and an end to the U.S. and NATO countries' defense cooperation with Ukraine. So basically take Ukraine off the table. And, but I think all that's doable because it's World War III we're preventing. So one must ask themselves, that seems like, but nobody talks about that, right? Nobody talks about that. And that's where we're going to go with all this. But I just want to start with that and just say, guys, let's just think about this as how many lives can we save, with just diplomacy and reaching an agreement. Because that's what it's about. Why wait to reach an agreement? Why not just fucking do it now?
Not to mention, if you're crying about Ukraine, cry about your neighbor, cry about your kids, cry, dude, World War III is not a fucking good idea. No. And we have a history of going big when we think we can't win. Japan.
Right.
The nuke.
Right.
We were the first one to drop the nuke.
Yep.
So we don't want to do that.
No.
That's fucked up. And,
No.
And that's not even just your kids, man. Think about somebody else's kids over there that has nothing to do with this, has no say so, man. They would probably be your fucking best friend if you drank at a bar with them.
Yeah.
Shit, and watched the fucking soccer game or a football game or whatever, basketball.
That's a great point, man. What makes you, because they're in a box on a paper over there, to say fuck them all? Think about it. That's just a bad look, man. There's good people everywhere. But that goes to the thing about, why we bomb countries that are brown and we don't really raise a stink until it's white countries that are fucking. It's an obvious fucking thing. But anyway, I want to talk about the context of NATO for a little bit, because I think it's important to go into this and get an idea of what the fuck is happening. Because like I said before, a bunch of people are just talking about a bunch of, and I don't blame you, because our media is only reports certain things. They leave out a lot of shit, or they'll lie about shit, or whatever it is, but that's what they do. Whatever they can fucking do. So, all right. What is NATO? All right. NATO, you would think, is a bunch of little happy countries that cooperate, but it's not. They're a military force that if you fuck with one, you fuck with them all, and they will destroy you and stomp you out. And that's what they're there for. They were put in place to neutralize the Soviet Union or take them down. So, and that happened. And then in 1990, when it happened, we made a promise. James Baker, he was the Secretary of State at the time, he made a promise not to inch eastward of the United Germany towards Russia. And I think it was, we broke that promise by 1999, I think. Well, because there was a nice buffer between the NATO-aligned states and Russia at that time when that deal was made. So it was kind of a comfortable thing. But in 1999, we broke the promise. Poland, Hungary, Slovenia, and Czech Republic were all added to NATO. So we didn't just break our promise by one country. We broke our promise by like 4 countries. And plus, Bill Clinton said somewhere along that time, I think he said that he wouldn't have any troops or NATO troops in eastern Ukraine. And he lied about that, and they put a bunch in there too. So that was another lie that was broken. So this whole time, so then you go to 2004, and Slovakia, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia were all joined then. So then you got this encirclement and it's just rolling right onto their border in a lot of cases. And even Soviet bloc countries were also added. So, yeah, man, this fucking guy, again, I'm not in Putin apologist or anything, but how would you feel if you're getting closed in on all sides? Because you talk, the aggressor comes up a lot in these conversations. Who's the aggressor? Who's the aggressor? So it's important to keep that in mind
and you got to also reconsider the panic too on their side. Do we remember the Cuban Missile Crisis? Like, oh shit, Russia has some missiles in Cuba just in case, because that's what we're kind of doing to them a lot of times. I mean, we got Israel too, but
yeah, it's not kind of, man. I mean, as soon as we got, I think it was Poland, we put missiles pointed right towards Russia. It's a whole missile area where they're. I'm drawing a blank right now, but it's a whole area where they built. It's a missile structure. It's all it's there for.
Let's be real. Russia is not trying to be the aggressor, because it would actually be looked bad on to attack the states. To be honest, straight up,
right?
They would not be the first ones to attack or draw blood,
right?
Because the European nations, the EU's right there, So
right.
They would be the first blockade for them. They're like, hey, what the fuck? Why would you do that? No, hell no.
Right.
No. So.
And they're doing a lot of business too. Russia is with all these guys. They got a lot of business
it's
going
all
on
about
through
the
all
banks
this.
in the background. Let's be real about it.
Right. Man, so anyway, so all that gets done, and then 2014. All right, and just if you don't believe me, look at a map and look at all the NATO countries next to Russia and see all of them highlighted and see what you're looking at there. Then the 2014 coup happens, right? And this is important because our anti-Russian regime was installed over there, and there was a semi-Russian friendly regime beforehand. And what this did was this triggered a bunch of fucking problems because again, people don't know this, so this is important context. A couple months after the coup, in a town called Odessa in Ukraine, there was a massacre. Russian speakers were burned alive by fascists, dozens of them inside a building, basically. Why is this important? Because this is a lot of people don't know about this, right? And this was what got all the Russian-speaking Ukrainians. By the way, 1 in every 6 Ukrainians is an ethnic Russian, and 1 in every 3 Ukrainians speak Russian, so as a language. So it's all mixed up in there. And when that massacre happened, that got all the Russian-speaking, the separatists and all them, that got them to take up arms and be like, holy shit, man, this is fucking going down. So we gotta defend our territory. Not taking sides or anybody. This is just how it went. And this is important because in the book I read, Manufacturing Consent, this is what they explain, worthy and unworthy victims. Now, this guy or these victims in Odessa with the massacre would have been considered unworthy victims. They don't want to talk about them because it's not good for their side. It's not going to help. It doesn't help manufacture consent. So they just leave them alone. They don't acknowledge them as much. They just kind of just let it go. You could figure that shit out on your own, and hopefully you don't. And that's basically what that is. So it's very important to understand that. And then you had the Minsk Agreement. And so, and by the way, after that happened, from 2015 on, it's like the next 8 years, they were shelling the shit out of these Eastern Ukrainians. So much so, it was 14,000 people that got killed. And between 2018 and 2021, 80% of the civilian deaths were caused by the western side of Ukraine, the rebels. So these are reported facts now. So it's important to understand all this. Then you have the Minsk Agreement, which came as a result of that because there was a ceasefire because everybody was losing their fucking mind. So they were like, all right, look, Putin didn't want to recognize Donetsk and Luhansk because they didn't want anything to do. That's when they wanted to be separate from Ukraine. They were like, fuck this, we want to be out. So he said, look, I'm not going to recognize them. We're going to do the Minsk Agreement. We're gonna basically integrate this part back into the Donbass is what they call it. Donetsk and Luhansk is the Donbass area. It's this very sliver of eastern Ukraine, and they're gonna integrate it back into the Ukraine. And that was the deal.
That's what they're trying to do. But then this shit.
And then this shit fucking right, exactly, dude. And so all this shit is a result of all that shit. And that isn't even talking about Kazakhstan and Belarus and all the fucking bullshit that we stirred up over there. Look, guys, I'd love to sit here and say that we are innocent in all this. But it feels to me, because I also know that lying and propaganda on media is a function of war. So you're not going to really get the truth all out. And I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And I hope I am. I hope none of this is happening, and I hope they're just trying to stir up some shit. I mean, I hope whatever it is for the least amount of deaths possible, man, and hope for none. Hope everybody's okay. I know that's already fucked, but this is a reality, and and I'm not even talking about the context of our history, but I mean, just think, just fucking think before you go supporting something and putting your name on something where a mass amount of people are going to die one way or the other. It's terrible. And there's innocent people all over fucking dying. And I know that's a fact. So
yeah,
sad shit, man. what can you do, right? But it is the blind obedience and the no context aspect of it all that makes me look at it and go, damn. And I think about Dr. Robert Malone with the mass formation psychosis. And I'm like, if there was ever, you know, something like that, then it would probably be, you know, it makes sense. It fucking makes sense. People think you should see people shitting their pants. They're like, oh my God, and the power will flicker. They'll be like, oh my God, Putin's turning it off. You know, they literally think we're going to get our power grid shut down and shit. And it's just like, guys, don't you understand? Like, and they didn't even follow Russiagate. They just, you know, they just said it was what it was, and they didn't follow the fact that there was nothing. And you know what really gets me? The people that do call bullshit on Russiagate, like they knew, right? And they did it. But now they're supporting Ukraine and not really supporting not anti-war and just saying, hey, man, let's not fucking go to war at all, because that's what manufacturing consent is. They just they say what they got to say to get you to feel what you got to feel to support it.
Even behind it all, man. Even like the private investors have been like just basically funding weapons over there in Ukraine just to start the shit up. So they're realistically just stirring the pot.
Yep. Yeah, man.
For them, this is profits. You know, like fucking places like, you know, they've already reported it, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, and shit like that. These motherfuckers love this shit. You know, their shareholders love this shit. And if you're thinking about buying shares, keep in mind you fucking only buy fractions of what they fucking get. So
yeah, and
makes no sense.
Yeah, and Nord Stream 2 is a real deal too, man. People forget about that. I was proud of myself. Took Jimmy Dore till like 24, 48 hours ago to report about it. I reported about it like a while ago. It's only so many times I could pat myself back about it. But
the gas line, some shit.
Yeah, it's the natural gas line that they just constructed to Europe, but they haven't turned it on yet, and they already got semi-decent prices on oil and gas, which is how they bounced back. They put their oil and gas on the international market, got back, and now they're
interfering with our funds.
That's right. Wall Street oil and gas, dude. Yeah. Just like you said, that's when they send them weapons. And right now they've been sending weapons. That's another deal why we didn't want to dismantle NATO after the Soviet Union collapsed. We could have done away with NATO then, but we were too busy selling arms to all these motherfuckers.
We had the UN. So it's like, what's the point of having the UN too? Like being part of the UN. I don't get it.
Right. Yeah, man. But we were selling arms to all of NATO, and it was too lucrative
NATO. We got private shit out there too. We've been funding that Western Russian shit for a while now.
Yeah. Yep.
They wanted that rebellion to, kind of spark up.
Well,
we spark up rebellions all the time and then fucking play hero sometimes. Like, oh, we're the fucking good guy. Nah, man.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I think it was a nuclear freeze protest in like 82 or some shit. I was reading about it, and they didn't want to fucking, it's you see the history of all this stuff and how it's the same thing in different variations. Really is what I've been noticing. It's like, holy shit, man! It's anything to sell you a fucking war. Fuck the guns, man. Fuck the guns. I just can't see how people would go, okay, because this is our system. This is our way to make money, and then accept it and just say.
People don't understand, like
knowing the destruction.
If you're for like the U.S. military, so I don't understand why people are so strung out and have a strong military. But fuck it, that's like an American culture. Like, oh, we have a good military, right? So if you have a good military and you're sending your boys overseas, it's funny, it's ironic that it's the guns that are being sold behind their backs by the same companies that are fucking them, that are killing your kids.
Right. I mean, we're so entrenched, right? It's just how do we hit this reverse? But I think it can be done, right? Because you're spending more than the next 10 countries combined, and 6 of them or so are your allies, right? So that tells you, and it's like you could like take whatever money you need to maintenance your equipment. All right, deduct that and fucking go maintenance your equipment for 5 years or whatever, and then the rest of that budget lock in, and we basically redistribute that into infrastructure and all the other things that we need. And let's do a 5-year plan and let's figure out like that how it fucking works and how we could structure this. And dude, that's a good start right there. But they'll never fucking do that. They'll never fucking do that. And that's what the American people need to realize, and all the people for that matter, because this affects everybody, all regular people, is that they're not going to do it on their own. Climate isn't going to happen. Climate action, all these things aren't going to happen on their own. They're not. It's impossible. It's impossible. It's too widespread. It's too big. There's too many powerful people in there. It's got to take a colossal movement of regular folk and that are just fed up with the shit. And even then, nothing's promised. But I'm telling you what is promised is the end of the fucking world. And climate change is upon us. And people are acting like it's not even a thing. And I'm with you. It's great to forget about it for a while, but it's coming, and people are saying it's even here faster than expected.
Yeah, shit. War is a hell of a change on the climate too. People don't even get that on the small scale either.
Yeah, and we're out there stealing oil, which is,
I mean,
ass backwards.
How much oil we burn
if your
during
goal
war?
if your goal is to get off a war because war is bad and oil is bad, then we're doing war for oil. We're going the exact opposite direction.
Again.
Man. And China, I heard China offered us the Belt and Road Initiative. Say, get on it, sign this thing, even though they have no reason to fucking be nice to us right now, because all we do is shit on them and call them names and say Kung Flu virus and all these fucking terrible things. And we basically have, we sanction them and do fucked up deals and just talk shit and propaganda, just fucking tell them that, I forget what it was, but they were talking about how, you could hear about the Uyghurs in China, but then when you go there, they're walking all over the street. You're like, what, you just sneak out of a cave? It's like, how the fuck are you out? And how it's just all bullshit. And I had that article, I don't know if it was you, but somebody, about the Olympic skiers that were talking about their experience there and how they banned them off Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Because, they banned them because they were talking about it. And he's like, what the fuck did I do? All I did was compliment their... But it's just that's a thing. And that's another thing to look for. Like, you could say all these negative things about a place, but show me one positive thing. And then I might say, okay, it might be fair. But if you don't show me any positive statements for anything that they're doing when their economy is thriving the way it is, then, man, I'm just going to call you one of those people that won't say anything good about LeBron, even though, because they don't want to give it up to LeBron for Jordan or whatever. But there's good things to be said. You know what I mean? But that's another tell that I look for. But I am trying to get deeper into the anti-China propaganda thing and try to find out more shit about it. But their economy is their economy, right?
Yeah, and just to throw out the counter already because it's coming. I mean, for them, they're gonna only show you like the bad shit. Like, people are gonna only like be like, oh, look at this fucking poor place and shit. Like, so how are you gonna tell me about their thriving economy? Well, that's just happening here too. Yeah. It's happening here.
Yeah.
A lot of fucking places are going under. All small businesses are fucking like.
Tell you like this: if they put a filter on Joe Rogan's face to make him look more sick because he said he took ivermectin, then bro, they're lying about all kinds of shit, dude. That's the pettiest little fucking shit that you could ever do to do somebody. When I found out they did that, and he was like, dude, I was just mind blown, man. I'm just like, dude, if they stoop that low, then they're lying about big shit. Come on. it's all money grab, dude. They have to. It's even if it's this sudden thing like that, just a subtle little filter that you put on Joe Rogan's face. It's little pieces of it's incrementalism propaganda that builds up to something major in the long run, and that's what gets you like this. And that's why I think mass formation psychosis could be a real thing.
Hey, we did all put a shot in.
Stuck on that shit, right? I'm stuck on that mass. Yo, let's talk about you since that.
I'm still falling apart, bro. I'm gonna figure something out, but damn. Yeah.
Well, you look like you've been back on the weights. You just fighting the resistance. Are you still weak? Let's tell people what it is, because Jesse got vaccinated, right? And it was our last interview. It was after it was over. I was like, motherfucker, why didn't you bring that up? That would have been great to talk about. And then you're like, dude, I just fucking thought about it. We're just talking, you know? And he told me that he fucking ain't the same since he got his shot. And I'm not this. If I'm lying, I'm dying. People know I'm not fucking lying. Anyway, so it was right after you got it, right?
Yeah. So, man, I started losing weight like a motherfucker.
It was last March or May? Or April? Was it April?
It was April and May because I got 2 shots.
Right.
So, and like right after there, I started declining, dude. And
in what way?
Dude, I started getting injured real quick. Tendinopathies, so tendon issues. Like,
yeah, that's right. You said it was one. You just thought it was your shot arm that night, yeah. But the next day it was like all your joints, all your major joints.
All the joints, all the old injuries started flaring up and shit. Like they started hurting. And
you had to call in for work for one day, right? Because you said that you never call in, and you're like, dude, I had to. It fucked me up that bad.
Yeah. And ever since, man, like even I've adjusted my training because I'm thinking like, fuck. Something's off because like my old Achilles injury went bad, my shoulder went bad. I've been having like a lot of issues, inflammations, and I'm a fucking trainer and a therapist, so I know my shit.
I know you know your shit. Like I know that.
I've been slicing and dicing diet and everything like that, but yeah, it's still an issue. So it caused me a lot of tendon issues and soft tissue issues. So. It is happening. If it's something that is a side effect, it needs to be reported and shit. But
I've been reading reports that they're fucking.
But they hide it.
The one lady got fired for whistleblowing that they were like getting rid of adverse effects.
Yeah.
And just saying, hey.
Oh, all right.
I don't know where it was, but I'll dig up the fucking. I didn't know we were gonna talk about this, but But yeah, man, I thought about it, and I meant to ask you about that shit too. But you look better. I mean, you were looking fucking rough last time. You were like, man, I'm trying to gain weight, but you were working a lot then. You had so many hours. You were just like,
I'm still working.
I know.
Shit.
I know. You just found your pep. You just found an extra step.
Yeah.
Don't you love? You got to dig deep, and you just got to fucking go crazy. I tell people you got to be a little crazy to get through some of those workouts, man. Especially if you're going to be doing yoga every once in a while and just stay on a steady routine of working out day in, day out, different body parts. You gotta have a certain kind of crazy, and you got to be able to dig deep and pull that shit out of you. And I haven't had it lately. So
gotta get on it.
I am though. I have been working out, but I'm not the animal yet. I'm slowly because I don't want to pull nothing.
That's not some yoga, man.
I have been doing yoga. I start there because that's the core. If you build the core, then it's a trunk of a tree. Yep. Then your branches are easier to grow if your trunk's nice and strong. I do remember all that. It is a science to it, but yeah, man, I was worried about you because you said that it was one joint after you got it, and then you got sick as fuck, and then when you woke up, every single joint was the same as the other joint, and nothing got better for that time, and then it took a while. And then I'm just sitting there going, holy shit, dude, why didn't we talk about this on the show? But it's frowned upon because it scares the shit out of people when they hear this stuff. Eric Clapton got smeared to fucking no end, and the motherfucker, I don't know if he's played a gig yet, but he had to stop. His fucking hands are just like, his hands don't work. or maybe his one hand didn't work the same way. I think it was the booster for him, actually. I think he said it was the booster. He got the vaccines. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But I think, if I remember correctly, he said it was the booster that fucked him up. But a lot of people, dude, I know one of my buddies, he runs all the time, and he does, like, triathlons and shit. And, dude, it fucked him up. And I haven't even been around to ask him if he's recovered 100%. I know people that train that haven't. I've read a couple stories about they were like athletes and like professional athletes, and they're just not the same right now. So I don't know, man. But I think it's important to get that out there and just let people know. Yeah, shit can happen.
This shit still can't spread. So
Hopefully that's a one-off thing, like in a lot
in a big. The smart thing is to do all the fucking PPE bullshit, because the reality, man, it might be annoying, but it's better to do it like that.
It's smart to do the PPE.
Yeah, because if you're not gonna get vaccinated, you might as well do that. Even if you're lucky, you'll get a low variant, that doesn't fuck you up.
Well, I've always been a germaphobe, though.
And to be honest, you're going to have to eventually build these antibodies because it's spreading like a motherfucker anyway.
Right.
So it's the new flu.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to get vaccinated too eventually, I think.
Let some more science go on, bro.
Yeah.
PP.
I am, man. I like the more science that comes out, the better off I am. I'm just like, fuck it, bring it to me.
Give me a minute.
I tell everybody the same things. I'm like, dude, I'm not anti-vax. If I was 70 and had to get it, I would have got it already. There's no doubt about it. It's circumstantial. It's where you at, what's your situation, and what do you want to do with your body? And that's why I'm pro-mandate or anti-mandate.
Yeah.
Yeah. You do whatever the fuck you want, man. It's your body. But people get super fucking sensitive about all this stuff, and as they should, man. They're living difficult lives, and they don't know who to blame. So I don't blame them really much.
Man, I'm sometimes wondering if this war shit is a false flag. Like if it's
probably is. I mean, how many? What's our percentages?
A lot of people started.
It's got to be high. It's over 50, dude. In the wars, we got to be like 60% at least,
right? COVID. Like they already deflected so much attention from things that people like. There's a lot of riots going around the world regarding COVID.
Oh yeah,
the mandates and all.
Yeah, they're not reporting none of that shit.
Yeah, and people are pissed at where this came from and how it's being handled.
Right.
War is a great attention grabber, man. It sells,
bro. I'll do you one further. I don't know if I said this on the show, but. And to your thing, I wouldn't be surprised. But that's why I think about the leaky virus thing. Because if you're a business person and you have bought your government and you have all the controls in your hand, you already saw what happened. You had a brief blueprint in 2008 and how the housing crisis, how you could just swoop up and get all these houses on the market, kick people out of their house. So you create the crisis. You create the crisis, and then you have three things that off the top of my head, that I see, is you saw the most small businesses close. So now you got the accumulation of all their customers going to these other businesses, plus a lot of those small businesses got bought up by those people. Then you got the people getting kicked out of their houses. You get all that, then the banks come and buy up all the houses. And then you have the record profits for all the health services. Everybody had health records. Profit. Booming, and record profits. Not just profits, record profits across the board. So you're talking about a lot of fucking money here. And then you just go, and then after all that shit's over, we'll go to Russia. That's it. And sell it well, folks. Sell it well. I don't know, man. But I do know we were fucking going back. And it's even on mainstream. I think it was Yahoo News that the CIA was training the Azov Battalion in 2015. It was like Yahoo News or some shit like that. Fuck it. But yeah, it was something like that. So I just want to say it's on mainstream news, and there's a lot of people that are just fucking. You don't know how much shit I got. You can't say that we support Nazis. I don't support fucking Nazis.
There is money
this is
out
we
there.
shit.
There is money out there that supports those Nazis, and we're not doing shit about that.
Yeah.
So
Right. At least some of it we know is going to them. We don't know how much, but we know, and we don't know that it's not all Nazis, but we know there's Nazis over there, and that shit matters, man. I mean, think about it like this: who hates Nazis more, the United States or fucking Russia that had Hitler running up on Moscow, and he had to fucking Russia lost 25 million fucking people. I mean, who do you think hates Nazis more? Like I said, man, people talk a lot of shit for not having a war fought on their soil, and we're quick to forget that. It shows. What's that fucking meme? And it shows. We all need to just get over this war shit, man. I think it's the immaturity of humanity. It's an egotistical bullshit. When you have enough resources, when you have a system that, before if a motherfucker didn't have a house, it's because he didn't have enough money to have a house. It wasn't because there was too many fucking houses. And before,
and there's a homeless crisis.
Yeah, we would sell you fucking, if you didn't have money to eat, it was because, you didn't have enough fucking money to eat. It wasn't because there was too much food. And fucking, and this overproducing shit, capitalism is fucking terrible. And I don't think that socialism, when I say that we need to go to socialism, I'm not saying it as a means of this is definitely gonna fucking work. I'm saying that capitalism definitely doesn't fucking work, and the world is ending. And you could say whatever the fuck you want. The human experience is fucking ending for the most part. All these beautiful animals are extinct. We're just tearing up every fucking thing. This definitely doesn't work. So what I think socialism is it's a process to get to something that very much could work. And that's my belief on that. And I truly do stand by that, man. I think that all that shit's necessary, especially right now, because you got to get some sort of balance and get this back into some sort of fucking control. But what the fuck do I know, right? I mean, I'm just some dumbass trying to catch up for all the shit I didn't learn in school.
Trump, Biden.
Yeah.
Trump, Biden.
Trump, Biden, man. Trump, Biden, man. Gotta fucking vote for fucking Trump, man. Goddamn, Mac 2020. I fucking love everybody. I really do, man. I guess it's just because I've been around the world a little bit, and in my places, I've been lucky enough to meet a lot of different people, man. Part of that's being friends with Hoagie. That motherfucker he don't give a fuck who you are. He'll party with you. So that got me meeting a lot of people, man. I was always integrated with other races when I was young because I played basketball. So I didn't really even fucking know anything about anything racial wise. Didn't think about it. But we all don't have the same life experience, man. So, and I know it's drastically different for a lot of fucking people. Hopefully. But I do believe in the good in everybody, man. And that's what you got. You got a system right now that gets the urban city folk to hate the rural folk and the rural folk to hate the urban folk. And you got all this fucking confusion. And then the reds to hate the blues and the blues to hate the reds and all this shit. Meanwhile, look at the fucking scoreboard, man. Check the scoreboard and just see what the fuck is going on. It is fucked up on a scale that I'm not sure even I know how bad it is. I just know it's fucking colossal fucked up. And in order to get any kind of fucking, something back, we're going to have to fucking, I mean, I don't know though, man. When I see people and I see that they're just lost.
And here's the funny thing that I've almost talked about: crypto this, crypto that. Like, crypto is actually
people like when you talk about crypto. Talk about crypto.
Shit. Well, right now, man, Russia's trying to limit crypto. And in the U.S., all the private investors have just fucking started buying into the crypto markets and shit. So these banks are, I mean, still the investors are trying to now control these funds. And it's actually the technology itself which helps the people. Because, all right, so a private investor here can fund some shit over there and build a weapon and start some shit.
Right.
But this is also what's helping some people still fucking pay their bills over there because they got family over here and they don't have to go through this bank that's now got sanctioned against Russia or some shit like that. It's like, oh, you can't fucking transfer to this bank. Nah, fuck. I need your address. It's a code. Boom, boom. Send it.
Done.
And so that's really, it's perfect. But all the banks in Ukraine, they're going to start doing it. They're going to try and control it just like the Americans do. You know, it's the investors and it's the government that's going to make sure that they have the all the fucking shares, basically all the top. They're trying to buy it all up.
Right.
So,
of course.
And the funny thing is that now that it's being, you know, something that's made aware, here it's the exchanges. You got to buy it from Coinbase or Crypto.com, all these fucking exchanges. But the whole point of it was to be decentralized. So you get a private address for yourself. It's a code. All it is a fucking code. And you make sure that you have another code over there.
Right.
And that's how you control it. It's nodes all
right.
over the world. They can't get a hold of it all unless they shut down the internet.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, man. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Let me see what the fuck I got going on over here. Excuse me for a second while I stand up. Just gotta make sure. But yeah, man, I don't know, dude. I guess I gotta get some crypto, too. There's a lot of fucking...
Well, you buy it off the exchange and take it.
I just don't got no money, man. I'm about to move. I got a fucking... I got my new place, I think.
Everybody's bills are going up.
Yeah. I got my new place, I think. It's nice. You're gonna like the workout facility.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, dude. It's the this is where I could find my happy spot.
All right.
So you have it recovered, like on a scale of 0 to 100%. How much do you think you've recovered?
Damn, dog.
From the shot.
From the shot? No.
Yeah, like, from getting the shot.
Recovered is fine.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. It's just these injuries come back. It's a lot of.
Oh, so you get weak in the joints every once in a while.
Inflammatory response.
Oh.
So it's an increased inflammatory response.
Oh man. Damn. But that's not the myocarditis, is it? That's inflammatory in the heart, right?
It could.
Is it joints?
It could. Shit. It's a connective tissue. It's a muscle.
Right. We don't know. No. I mean, we don't know. I mean, that's kind of what the other doctors were alluding to. They were talking about how we don't know what it could do. That's the whole scary thing about it. But people were freaking out, and he wasn't saying for sure shit. He was just alluding to how genes work, and it's all different for every person, and you don't know how it's gonna play out. I thought it was, appropriate just to hear. I mean, who doesn't want to hear from everybody? You know, if there's fucking 10 experts in the room, I want to hear from all 10 experts. I don't want to be like, that's misinformation because that's not the answer I wanted. You know, that should tell you something in itself too, right? You know, like there can't be just one guy to fucking know the thing, you know? It's whatever it is. If there's multiple guys to help, I could see if it's only one fucking guy that knows, but that's not the case. I mean, don't you want to hear from everybody if there's 10 guys that are experts in cryptocurrency in here? Do you just want to hear from one?
Yeah. But money's the bullhorn. They'll sell you only the people that they want you to hear from. They're making this fucking big deal about NFTs because it's like this commodity shit.
Yeah. You're mad about that.
Oh, I hate NFTs, man.
Man.
Digital copyrights and shit like that. What the hell is that? Fuck that.
It's popular now, man. Everybody's talking about
I
it.
got access. I got exclusive access and rights. Like,
Yeah. It's weird, man. It's a whole new world. It's a whole new world out there. Look out, kids. It's dangerous.
the meta world.
Stay home. No, they said that about teens too. Not only are the suicide rates up and all that stuff, but they were talking about how they take less risks and stuff like that. They're just not like they get their driver's license at a later age, and they don't take risks romantically, and they're shut down and shit. They're just overall more depressed because they're on a fucking cell phone. Since the Gen Z got middle school, which is like 2011 to 2013, it was like the first middle schoolers that had mobile phones in school, and the bullying, I guess, was so much that this was all documented. And yeah, man, phones are kind of like, I think we've hit this level where there's so much on there. I think it should be for a kid of an older age, maybe 16 or some shit, before they really get on there. But even the older teen suicide rate spiked. So I guess that probably not even the case. But it's just because you got all these asshole kids that want to bully everybody.
Social media like Facebook, it's still high school and shit.
It's an easier way to bully, though.
That's almost high school. Like, you gotta use that shit for just straight business. If you use it for personal reasons, like, oh man.
Yeah, but before though, to bully a kid, you'd have to catch up with them.
Have you ever seen commentary on there? It's like, good lord, that's tribalism at its finest.
Yeah,
it's like, wow. Some of these things like make no sense. It's like, wow, it's pretty comical.
Yeah, it is pretty fucking bad. It is bad. But I guess we got everything out we wanted to fucking say, man. It's been long enough. We're doing a late night video today.
It's a long show.
Trying to shoot as many shows as I can because I'm moving again. Yeah, I'm getting kicked the fuck out again. No, I'm going willfully, man.
Oh yeah?
Nah, I'm getting kicked the fuck out, I think.
Shit.
Well, I mean, I'm not paying that, dude.
Bills are going up, huh?
Yeah, dude. Too much, dude. Too much. What was 500? I thought it was going up 500 at the most. Well, it wasn't 500. It was 750. The shit went from 1750 to 2538, bro.
Oh hell no.
That should be illegal. So then they started negotiating like a couple hundred, whatever, and we were like, yeah, we already found a place because we got a list of places and just started checking them off. So if anybody needs any advice about any places around the Winter Park, Maitland area, or anywhere out of it, actually, we even went further than that. Let me know. I got good details on all the places. And yeah, man, found a good spot. Found a good fucking spot. We're gonna be happy there. It's not too far from here, right down the street. So
check out this gym.
Yeah, way bigger podcast room, way bigger gym. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait. She's real happy, so that's all that really matters. But yeah, thanks. And again, heart goes out to everybody, all the innocent people out there that are fleeing and losing their life and getting I can't even imagine what the fuck is going on out there right now. And yeah, you're on our mind and in our hearts. So hope everything goes as good as it can from here. I hope we pull out. I don't understand why if there's a list of something to create diplomacy, why you wouldn't address that. I don't understand that. So there's just some things that I guess we'll never know.
Money buys you the bullhorn.
But then why? I guess what I don't understand is why people don't see that then.
They sell war, bro.
Or are they okay with that? Are people okay with imperialism? Is that what it is?
They love the gun. They love the gun.
But a lot of these people are church people too, which is weird.
I was just thinking about it the other day. Like, man, we fucking put such an emphasis on nonviolence. Like, you can't fight in schools, but everybody has a gun. Your kids are shooting each other. I like the old fist fights when we were kids, man.
Yeah, man. you learn a lot about yourself.
You made friends like that too.
Yeah.
I made my best friend fighting them.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's a different world, and we haven't adjusted yet, and that's what's fucked up about it. Well, we're okay with violence, and like Dr. King said, it's a great way to end this. Violence is socially destructive. Once you kill somebody's family, good luck mending that broken relationship. But anyway, Jesse, once again, brother, thank you, man, for coming in and doing the damn thing.
All right.